with our bare hands. We're going to do a teardown. This was requested. I thought it was interesting that somebody requested this because this is a, by definition, like a beating screwdriver. It's got a metal cap. It's got a similar insert to the Klein there, where it will grab both sides, but the Klein will grab anything, any direction, any way. It's got 3 ball bearings in here. Even takes short screwdrivers backwards. We've whittled one of these literally to death. We've beaten it with a milled face hammer, 3-pound sledge. We've done just about everything you can to a Klein True Grip screwdriver here. Somebody said, how does the vessel hold up? Holy moly. Way, way worse balancing. Obviously, we just put it very, very, very heavy on one side of that compared to the other side. This thing is awesome. I don't think I've really found anything wrong with this. I've tried to find something wrong with it. Couldn't find something. I've tried every way to break this. We've even done this. The other day I was sitting in Klein's lobby. And if you guys don't know, if you guys watched the teardown, there's little wings on the insert of this that are about that long on either side of this. They're about that tall. And that's what embeds this shaft here. If we tried, we could probably spin it. We might try to do that. But first we're going to see, does this break? Because I have tried to break this in half. I've really, really tried. Sat in Klein's lobby in front of the technicians and the salesman and just, you know, tried to see if I could spin it by hand. I couldn't do it. I bet you we can break this thing like a pixie stick. Let's see if we can. We will be taking off our ring. The model number of this is, it's a vessel 230W. This was specifically requested to tear it down, break it down, see what it's got. All that stuff. Check out my coaster. That's pretty cool. The Klein. I don't remember. What is the model number of this thing? The 32960A. 32960A. Okay. Here we go. Bare hands. After that, we'll show you the difference in the tips and stuff. It came with this tip. Honestly, it's really terrible. For a vessel, I expected better. I was actually looking forward to the tip, buying this vessel, knowing that my job was to destroy it. I thought, well, at least I get to keep the tip. The tip is not shaped correctly. It says number 2. It's not a very good tip. Yes, I was telling Klein that as well. The tip fits terminals beautifully. The tip does a lot of things. I'm an electrical inspector. I see a lot of terminals. I see a lot of loose terminals. I let contractors borrow this screwdriver all the time. And the feedback on it, it doesn't slip. Man, it's so handy. Break it down. You got it with you. All right, enough about the Klein. We're going to break this in half. We're just going to go for it. I have yet to try it. It has quite a bit of flex to it, you know. I don't know if I can. I mean, you got to be really strong to do this. I don't know if I can or not. We're going to try. Oh, yeah. That was actually really easy. Ha! Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Damn. I did not expect that. Wow. Yeah, so it bottoms out right here. So there's no shaft. Like if we stop right here, like you can see where the ball grip might go deeper. Like I don't know. This is so much better built. I don't think you guys understand how good this thing is built. We can try it on this one. Yeah. I can't get it. pushing with my thumb, right? Yeah. All right, so we did break it like a pixie stick. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's got an impact rated. Oh my goodness, dude. I can't believe it. I actually why? Why is it impact rated? Why does it have a freaking good Lord. Okay, so what's the magic of this thing? Did we break the magic or does the magic okay, it still has magic in there. Trying to find the ball bearings. That's flat. Why does it grab? That's flat. That's flat. Oh, there's the ball bearing right there. You guys see it? Here it comes on the bottom now. We'll use the O light. There it is right there. Just one. Just one ball bearing. I'll give him credit where it's due, man. That one ball bearing feels pretty impressive for that much grab. It's not near as good as the Klein. With 3, of course, but wow, I was not. Have I used the vessel? I have used the vessel before. Not this one. This one was brand new out of the package, basically. I'd used the tip a couple of times, but the tip's not good. I've got other vessels. I've grabbed a couple of vessels that I've got that matter. I've got vessels. I got no problem with vessel. Vessel makes a nice driver. This was a request, so this is a nice flat driver. Get nice and deep in those screws. You can see where I've twisted this. I use this screwdriver quite a bit. You can see where I've actually twisted it a little bit, but it's still holding strong. There's no real noticeable difference with that screwdriver twisted the way it is, but you can see where it is twisted a little bit, but that's a lot of flat right there to not twist. So the fact this hasn't broken tells you how good it is. I do like the Klein better. The Klein is basically indestructible. I've tried to break the Klein. Got many videos about it. And I have not been able to do it yet. Maybe tonight. Let's see if we can twist this. Let's see if we can twist this Klein to death. No. No, it's not going to, I don't think we're going to be able to twist it to death. Nope. Good luck with that. We're going to need it. Look at the metal bending. Flexing the metal. I'm going to pull my arm out of my socket. Hang on. We need bigger. There we go. It's crazy. It's crazy strong, man. It's a really, really good screwdriver. Dang, that's a good screwdriver. Let me see what I got for you. I tested and was able to break the receptacle in no time. Don't break a sweat on the Klein ball driver. Yeah, it's really, really strong. Klein is USA. That's the way. There is a lot of USA Klein. There is a lot. I was actually at Klein's facility on Thursday, and man, they make a lot of tools there here in Texas. They make a lot of tools. What I learned is that for something to be 100% USA made, all the plastics, everything about it has to come from the US. They can't just take the global materials, take it to the United States, and make it in the United States. For it to say USA, on it, even the lubricant that goes in between the poly that they melt down to make the handles, even that has to be drilled in the United States. So, you know, if it says made in the USA, it's got to 100% be USA made. And they've got it at that factory. Not everything is USA made. There's a lot of global materials, but they have a lot of workers there, Americans that are working in the factories, physically holding every individual, everything, man. I saw it all. It's an amazing facility. Millions and millions and millions of dollars of equipment just out there. It's pretty amazing. This I did not expect to snap like a pixie stick. Wow. Do we even go further? Like, I feel like we need to kind of do a little bit more to this. Let's see what this thing's made of. Let's see if we can get the grip off. How is the grip on there? Keep it in the camera, stupid. There we go. The grip's on there pretty good. Let's get a knife. Dude, if I get plastic in my rum, I'm gonna cry. This one's Papa's Pillar. Really, really good. All right, what do we got? We've got a pretty impressive grip right there. That's impressive the way it's on there. I have no problem giving credit where it's due. That's like embedded in there. Let's tighten it up a little bit here. Okay, so I'm going to say this is probably the most impressive grip that I've ever had to disassemble. Definitely better than what Klein has for their grips. Klein's grips are different in their own way. Klein has grip issues. I spoke to the guy at Klein. I was watching the Klein 2000s get made. And I said, okay, what's the deal with this, man? What's the deal with these pliers? They're made, they're hardened, they're laser hardened. On the knives, they have a laser that hardens them. It's pretty crazy to watch. What's the deal with these pliers? What happens if I cut something and they do get deformed? Are they under warranty? You can take these back to where you bought them. This is what the guy at Klein said. You can take these back to the store you bought them from, and they should exchange them right there. So Klein has told me you should be able to take these directly to Lowe's. Lowe's better get with the program if they're not already. You can take these back to Lowe's and exchange them if you break them. Of course, if you blow them up, you cut a live circuit or something, they're not going to warranty them. But if you're cutting hardened, whatever it is, these things are rated to cut hardened. This is basically tool steel, should we? I don't think they're rated to cut that. That'd be crazy. I really like these. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll cut a screw or something. That just seems like a huge waste because that's like tool versus tool. That'd be a bad idea. What kind of thick screw for you guys? That's a beefy screw. One hand. Let's see. Are we going to do one-handed? No. We're going to use two hands. That's a very hard screw, guys. Survey says, let's hold it up to the light. Let's hold it up to the light. Nothing, dude. Completely fine. That's pretty crazy. It's a seriously good pair of pliers, man. Seriously good pair of pliers. All right, back to the destruction. Yeah, so these are lifetime warranty. You can, yes, your 10-in-1 handles do slip. They absolutely slip. So do mine. This is not a fluffing Klein session. This is a fluffing tool section. I'm going to show you some Klein grips that slip right now. Let me grab some. We're not glazing one brand over here. That's not what we do. I gotta find the tool. Where is it? Should be the HVAC. It's not this one. And don't get me wrong, I think any one of these handles will slip, but I've already got one that is slipping because Klein is notorious for their grip slipping, but you can take them back to the store. Let me find. I think it's this one. It's not this one. It has to have the arrow. If it has the arrow, it's probably going to have issues. That's kind of the rule of thumb right now. What I've discovered. If it has arrows, it's probably going to slip. Okay. Arrow right here. See that? See how the arrow moves? Let's get this out of the way. You see that? Lowe's should return that according to Klein. I'm going to test it out. We're going to find out. I just got to remember what actual pieces go with this screwdriver. It's a 14-in-1 HVAC, man. One of my favorites. I use this for like 4 months every day. And the grip started slipping on it. And then it got to where like I was like loosening panels and stuff. And my hand would just be slipping. Like, watch. This is going to stay still. That spins. So, yeah, we kind of stopped talking about this screwdriver until I talked to Klein. I was like, what's going on with this thing? They will return these. They're figuring out the handles, but they are under warranty. Okay, back to this thing that snapped like a pixie stick. We've got to figure out this might take a while. I'd really like to know how deep the metal cap is, though. I wonder if we can, like, squeeze it to death. If there's one tool that could squeeze something to death, it would be this. Hang on. No. Hang on. It's got so much squish to it too. It really does. The grips are, I mean, crazy deep. We're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is dangerous. You gotta use a knife. Look how thick that grip is. We might need help with a multi-tool. Oh, there we go. That's hollow. Hang on. No, it's not hollow. It's not hollow. We just go like squeeze it, and then we need another pair of pliers to like get the rest of it. The grips on these are very impressive. But for this thing to break in half the way it did and be a beater, it doesn't make any sense. Because if I see a metal cap, I mean, I'm going to start prying on a screwdriver. This thing will snap easy. You start prying with it. See, I just can't grab all that at the same time. It's impossible. That is crazy thick, man. Yeah, it's taking me longer to get to the hard plastic. It's like a jawbreaker. Got to get German-made Kleins. They're on the way. I'm actually going to have Klein send me those. What Klein is not going to send me is some multimeters. I was going to have Klein send me multimeters, and I was like, no, don't do that, because I'm too particular to my flukes. All Ryobi is trash. If you like Ryobi, then you're dumb. Appreciate it, Shaka. 26 months, man. Thank you for the support. So, yeah. I was going to have Klein send me a multimeter, and I thought to myself, nope, don't do that, because I want to talk trash about what I want to talk about. I don't want to feel any bias at all on anything. And I'm pretty partial to my multimeters, and not just because it's fluke. I think that Milwaukee probably has one of the best featured multimeters right now, because when you hit voltage, the noise turns on, you get a light. Sometimes whenever you're trying to plug into a receptacle, see, this is where I was thinking it was hollow. It's almost like it's like an anchor point in there. See that? Come on, man, just break off. That's ridiculous. Overbuilt, man. It's really impressive. The rubber on these vessels are very impressive. The plastics that went into making it, not impressive at all. We are cutting towards ourselves, but we kind of have those channel locks to protect us. So there's an anchor point there. Let's see if we can squeeze it now. But I can split it in half like a walnut. No. They need to work on the shaft of this. Yeah. They definitely need to work on the shaft. I'd say the top is pretty damn sturdy. Do we need to get a Sawzall, or do we need to get like a multi-tool or what? Let me check the chat. Oh, hell yes, yeah. Use them tonight for rain tights. Nice, nice. And they're the right ones. Yeah. What's the best tool for a DIY vasectomy? This thing, of course, right here. It's fitting because it's called the dike. Let's see here. If only the rest was that quality. Yeah, exactly. Must be rice. Let's see here. Do we just multi-tool this or not? Like, comment below. Did we get the multi-tool out, use a Dremel? It's not a bad idea. It's going to be freaking plastic everywhere. Kind of want to just whale it with a hammer. You want me guys... Let's go wheel it with a hammer real quick. Come with me. Oh, I gotta turn on the light. Ten minutes. Okay. All right. Does not seem to care. It did not seem to care, guys. Try again. We broke more of the bottom of it. Yeah, you know, the top is pretty impressive on these. I will say that. We're gonna need this. We're going to do this much like how I drill out a hole in brick whenever I'm trying to mount like a receptacle in brick. Just going to do 1,000 little holes until we make a perfect square. Okay, so there's steel there. I think there's also steel in there. What about down here? That's also steel. So it's thick steel. They just cheaped out on the actual most important part. It's got a lot of steel and it can definitely take a hit. There's no point in pulling this apart anymore. There's no wonder why we can't smash it. It's solid metal all the way down. You can see where it is independent. The metal doesn't go all the way through. So I think it would have likely been insulated. I take that back. That's metal too. So this probably would not have been insulated. That probably would have sat on the back of that. And this is probably conductive. Let's find out. We'll use the Milwaukee to do it. I was telling you guys about the Milwaukee, how nice it is. I'll show you why I like it. So I like it because as soon as I hit continuity, I get a continuity light. And a continuity light is a really nice touch for such a cheap multimeter. So if we touch here and we touch here, is it going to beep? Pretty sure it'll beep if I touch in here. Yeah, so we definitely have metal inside there. What about on this side? We do. So this would not be an insulated vessel like some of them are. Some of the vessels are really good at being insulated. I've got one somewhere. I've got a couple. Just don't know where I put them. Maybe in this bag. I've got one here. Yeah, so I've got these. Like, I like Vessel. Don't get me wrong. I like Vessel. But to do that to their demo driver that easy, kind of a problem, right? So this is like full tang. I was expecting this is where I'm a loss, because somebody told me specifically to get this driver to demo it. So we did that. This goes full tang, and it's got a ball bearing or like a little bead right there to isolate it. So if I go from here to there, no continuity, because it's got that isolator ball right there, which is a pretty nice touch. See, got continuity there, isolation here. These guys have one job, was to make a decent demo driver, and they didn't. They could have easily made that through and through on this. They could have went a lot deeper. They could have done something. We snapped that way too easy with a metal cap. Yep, pretty surprised we broke it that fast, to be honest. It did not take long at all to break that. What multi-bit screwdriver do I use? There's a couple that I use. Right now, my favorite multi-bit screwdriver is... see if I can find it. It's not this one. Does that count as a multi-bit? Because that's multi-bit technically. It would probably be this one, because this one has the same kind of design as the ball grip, where you can put anything you want in it. No, wait, yeah, you can. You can put, because the ball bearing will grab, so you can put a bunch of different things in this. It's not as deep as the ball grip, but the grab of that is really nice, and then the handle rounds over, and it's not really a hollow screwdriver. So Klein makes really good screwdrivers and handles when they're shaped like this. So anything that looks like this, and you can see where I beat the crap out of this thing. Just because I could, right? Just years of being a beating screwdriver. These handles are really good. Anytime you see a handle like this, it goes over and then kind of rounds over and stops. That's a for life handle, will never ever slip. This one has that, so I don't have to worry about my handle slipping, because Klein does have a handle slipping problem. Same thing with this one. This is a C1 or C2 driver. That's got the rounded over handle. This one's hollow. I haven't managed to make this handle slip. It's a completely different design, but it kind of rounds over there. When they run into trouble is when the handle doesn't round over and it stops. That's when you get the spin. So anytime I see this arrow, this used to be my favorite screwdriver because it had this storage in it. And then I could do all kinds of stuff with this. But the handle started slipping, so I stopped having to recommend this one. It is what it is. I can't be telling you guys to buy something that's gonna irritate you. So that's where we're at. That this handle will never slip. This is a great handle. This is probably the best screwdriver you can buy for $20 in the world. This is hands down the most impressive screwdriver still today because the tips are longer, so it's harder to lose. And it doesn't feel like... I don't know how long you guys have been in the field, but I think by now in 2025, I think we're all getting tired of doing this. Putting this in your front pocket and then losing it forever. Or you got to get to your 5/16, so you got to pull the whole thing around. And that's a Makita XPS, by the way. Decent bit. Then you got to flip this around to put a grounding screw in, but then you realize there's no magnet on there, so then you're at a deficit trying to tighten your bonding screw or whatever you're doing. And then you flip this around, but we wanted a square, and what we got was a flat. Oh, even worse. We got a number 1 Phillips. Why didn't they do a flat there on this side? So this is cool because you can put any bit you want in here, and that's acceptable. But the most that you're going to see me flip around is going to be this. And ideally, I would like this to fit in my 5/16. So what they really should have done was made the magnet inside of this one. So that way we could actually, you know, get a useful swap out. Because right now we're just having to switch the whole damn thing out just to get to 5/16. Question, I gotta beat a knob. That's fair. That's a good screwdriver though. That one's not bad. I thought when this first came out, I was like, oh dude, game changer. Gonna be putting this in my impact all day. At the end of the day, I'm just not. It's a little bit wide, it's a little bit bulky, and I just as soon have a screwdriver that's gonna be all together whenever I need it. I don't need half of my screwdriver in my drill. And then I realized that I want to grab my screwdriver real quick to do something. But then this piece is in my drill. A little bit out of touch on that one. I just prefer like this. This is great. Those 6-in-1s with the double-sided bits. Klein came out with an 11-1. Or it was a 9-in-1. I think it was 11-in-1. And it had all the sizes. And it had a short. And it was a Phillips and a number 2 square. It was about that long. And it flipped around. And I think it ratcheted, if I remember right. I think it was this version. Of course, I can't grab it. Yeah, I think it was the bigger version of this guy. And on one side, it was a Phillips and a square. And then it had the 3/8 and the 5. But if you wanted to switch your bit around, you already had your square. You just flipped it around, and then you could get instantly to your 5/16. Which was pretty cool, actually. That was probably the peak, you know, 2012 of what we got for a flip screwdriver, because you would just pull out one bit and you instantly had your 5/16. You could use it real quick, then you could put your bit back. But it didn't have any magnets. So this is probably still my favorite. It's the bits are so big, you're never going to lose them. They're easy to see in your tool pouch, and you can just flip them around really quickly. This thing is awesome. Are those channel locks insulated? No, they're not. Oh yeah, dude, the new Klein tool runner is awesome. It fits everything without compromise. So usually there's a compromise. Can't really find one. The contrast is great. Other bags, you get no contrast. So the orange contrast is purposeful for tools. Everything just sticks right out. You can find it real easy. You can see every individual tool. You come over here, you can still see every individual tool. That's a little bit tight. You come over here. It can get kind of dark. This is like my handyman, freaking DIY homeowner pouch. I'm sorry about this bag. That's a $250 mistake right there. That's a $100. I'd rather have 2 of those. Wera screwdrivers are the way to go. Vera's pretty good. Vera is pretty good. I'm willing to break one of those in half tonight. We can break a Wera. We can see what it's made of. If you want to. I don't care. You guys directly support the channel by watching, liking the video, subscribing, all that stuff. Hit the like button, by the way, if you want me to break a Wera screwdriver tonight in half. We only got 11 likes. I think we can do better if we're going to tear apart a Wera. Vera's great. Just not a huge fan of the handle. They're a little bit small for me. I still prefer the Klein stuff. I've beaten the Klein for too many years to have to worry about a damn Wera. There's no point in switching it up. Let's pick a Wera. All right, so we've got. See, I'll show you what's wrong with this screwdriver here in a second. Let me see if I can find it. We've got a number 2 here. We've got an extra number 2. An extra number 1. There's a 5.5. And ideally not rather snap that in half. I don't think it will. I'm not going to tear that one up. I'll show you what's wrong with this one. And we'll grab this number 2. And this number 2 has been worn. You can see where I've been using it. It's, they're just okay. They just don't fit my hands. No handle slipping issues. Wera. What do I think of Weha? Weha, I don't think is a true German tool. I think the Weha is like globally made, and then Germany kind of did something. KC Tool dropped Weha. I think the Weha feels great. So let me walk that back for a second. Let me show you the Weha. The Weha is great. $30. Great shape, acceptable tips, good shapes, good long shafts, insulated. If I had to pick an insulated screwdriver with a long shaft, because of this shape, it's going to either be the Weha or the Klein. It's not going to be the Wera. I can tell you that right now. For $30, you get a lot. KC Tool dropped these guys, so they're not actual German. They're parts of Germany, probably shipped there and then sent off or something. It's not the same as these other tools. Let's just put it like that. Okay, so we got the Wera. Hard plastic, hard lines here. Not a fan of the hard line. If I was going to use this every day, I'd have to take sandpaper to it and get rid of those hard lines. I get that they don't roll. That's fine. Lines are too hard. My thumb sits right there. Not a fan of that. The hard plastic is also kind of a turnoff. You can hear it. For me, they don't really fit my hand. I like to hold screwdrivers like this whenever I'm using them because I've got the grip strength I guess most people don't have. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can drive screws by hand like this. Not very comfortable. I'd much rather this be back here in my hand to drive screws and be using my thumb, but they're just not shaped correctly for my hand. So I can go get some sheetrock screws going to, and I'll drive it by hand if you guys don't believe me. We can do that here in a second. The tips are second to none. The tips, like grab screws, amazing. There's no doubt about that. I don't like the handle shape at all on these. That's my number one gripe. If they had longer handles, bigger handles, if they stay consistent with the handle size, that would be different. When we look at this, this is out of touch. This is the number one, and it's supposed to be like their combo drive. Come on, you focus. There you go. It's supposed to be like their combo drive. That sits really high for a combo. So you need to sand that down a little bit for it to be useful in a receptacle. But it's okay. Size got really small again. Wera Terminator bits are great. Wera Terminators are fine. Yeah, you got a hacksaw in there? Nope. I must be behind in the chat. Can I break a 3.5 insulated or a Robbie number 3? If I have a Robbie 3, I will. No, they're not P2R2. Not a fan of the Wera handles at all. Let's go get some sheetrock screws and a 2x4, and we'll drive some sheetrock screws so you guys can see the difference in the grips. I would set that timer for 10 minutes, wouldn't I? Okay, here is a 2x6. Got a 2x4 here. Here's some sheetrock screws. So these aren't quite 1.5 inches. They're more like 1.25 inches. So first, what we said we were going to do was show you this tip. So we got this tip here. This is what came with the vessel. Fits these screws okay, but this is a construction screw. This doesn't fit other screws very nicely. We'll go ahead and use our Klein here. Just drive that right there. We'll just use one hand like this, and I'm going to move the camera down for you guys. Oh, I did not see that coming. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Right here. It takes a lot of field strength to do this with just basically my thumb and my middle finger right there. And then of course a little bit of, back here. But yeah, that's gone, right? Let's go to the Klein. Look at the fit on the Klein. Slips out a little bit. This is a construction screw, so they're kind of designed to slip out. They fit terminations really good. So the difference of these two bits is like, this is just a bigger, bulkier bit, but if as you get a receptacle, you could see how that fits that screw so good. You don't want an electrical screwdriver fitting this screw. I would say that this screwdriver is not really made for electrical. I didn't know enough about Vessel to say otherwise, because this is an electrical channel. I should have asked him, is this an electrical screwdriver? Before I started comparing this to electrical screwdrivers. But the request was to break this thing in half, and could I do it? Because he thought that it was indestructible. Where is, not this one. This one, that's a Vessel. Vessel's got a nice flat here, in case you guys didn't know. It fits really nice. And you're supposed to be up here with your Vessels. Lots of turning power here, but I can still turn down here. It's not as easy. You get less lines going this way to be able to like maintain your turn than the other ones. So you got to grab the vessel differently, but they have, you know, good grip. See the fit? I dropped a screwdriver. Here is the Wera here, undoubtedly. Gonna have the best tips. Watch this. No, I couldn't do it. The Wera has very good tips. See, where I use the screwdriver, a lot of people don't. So I'm already wanting to get this in the palm of my hand here where I'm grabbing it, and I'm spinning here. There's just no grip to spin. So I've got to like cripple my hands like this to use this screwdriver. So I'm not the best person to talk about Wera. It's fine. Not comfortable. This is not where they intend you to grab the screwdriver. This is for, I guess, the Germans with small hands. I have no idea. They need to make bigger handles. Can Klein's installation tips fit? No. Took about a week and I needed it for anything I was working on. I just wanted to have them in the toolkit. Let me see here. Acme, what are we talking about? I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Hang on. What is Backwoods talking about? I can't bother looking it up. I got some PTR2s we can try out too. So the insulated, which is here somewhere. Here. Insulated. That's just 2 fingers, guys. It's gone. They're all fairly comfortable. This is the least comfortable, but has the best tip. This is the most versatile because it's got all the tips. It's fully insulated, and you can switch the tips out, and they're long so you don't lose them. And it's insulated. If there's one screwdriver I have to tell you guys to buy, it would be this one. Hands down. I've got another screwdriver here, which is really nice. On the back side of this Klein, though. And it's this thing. This thing's pretty cool. This would be going head to head. This is the Mega Pro Defender. It's got the right shape. It's got the right everything. Even this spins freely. This spins freely. It's $100 though. So this will be going up against the Klein when I get my hands on it. The other insulated. And this thing's $100. The Klein is $40. Hang on. Okay, here we go. So this is like almost cheating because this spins up here freely. Like it spins. And it stays in your hand like while you're spinning. I'm really looking forward to trying out the Klein because the Klein does that too. But the amount of leverage you get on this thing is like, it's just dumb. I mean, it's gone. It's gone. This is a really nice driver, and it takes the Weehaw bits. The slim lines fit in here. My gripe with the Weehaw here This piece here is too damn sensitive. If you drop this screwdriver, it's trash. 80 bucks and it's trash. And then the other thing I don't like is the release mechanism. You got to pull this back to release it. So sometimes if you're holding the screwdriver and you're spinning a receptacle, you tend to pull this back while you're using the screwdriver. Versus you have to push this forward to use it. So it's harder to accidentally disengage this screwdriver. And then don't even get me started with this piece of crap. This thing here, the ratchet is so sensitive. You'll be tightening something, and then next thing you know, now you're loosening it. Now you're tightening it, now you're loosening it. Like, it's pretty crazy. We're doing a live stream, and all I wanted to do was just zip a screw in just to hold a laser. And it was like, look, there you go. Now we're going the wrong direction. Because you're grabbing down here. So you put it back in drive. And you start turning, but now we're already going the wrong way. So we put it back in drive, and you start turning like this, and look, we made it slip again. I cannot recommend this thing at all, man. It's ridiculous. Watch, we'll put it back in drive. If we're up here, it's okay. But if you grab it down here, look, we're going the wrong way again. I must have, it took me way too long to drive the screw. Let's just say. That's got to be embarrassing for him. It turns into a stubby too. Pretty nice design. That's way too loose. And Klein is guilty of it too. On their 15-in-1s. They also have some loose ratchets out there too. $100 for a screwdriver. Wow. Yeah. I think this one has a VDE. That's why. This VDE is a third-party testing. That's like a pay-to-play. That's a German thing. You have to send your screwdrivers out to Germany to have that done. And it's like an exclusive club. It's a very biased listing of a certification, I would say. VDE is something good to have. But I think Klein will test their screwdrivers and stuff at 10,000 volts. They'll rate them for 1,000. And then you still got to pay to play to do the VDE thing. It's when a screwdriver says VDE on it, it's going to be high dollar. It has to be high dollar. There's no other way to afford it. So I think these are VDE too. Yeah, see, these are, yeah, that right there. That's VDE right there. So that's one reason why this screwdriver is so expensive. The next thing is it's got a lot going on for it, man. This thing does a lot. First of its kind too. Okay, we're gonna break this thing in half or not? Let's get 30 likes. We'll break this thing in half right now. Let's see how far back the shaft goes, what the isolation's like. Is the handle hollow? What's the plastic like? Let's see how hard the tip is. Let's get 30 likes. It's all about the tip and just the usefulness of driving. Electricians need to stop using their impacts for everything. That seems to be the way the industry's going. And it's forcing companies like Klein to make everything impact rated. And then it's driving up the cost of your precious screwdrivers. And the requirement for what the electrician in the field expects to get is to have a screwdriver that's not chromed. Well, this is considerably cheaper. And a lot of us proper electricians are not going to be putting impacts in a panel. But now we've got this younger generation that wants to put everything in an impact. And the impact stuff is substantially more expensive than the non-impact rated, obviously. So you guys are complaining about prices being high while simultaneously griping about wanting to use the tool improperly. If you guys would learn to use the screwdriver properly, discipline yourself to actually be able to drive a screw with a standard 10-in-1 and have the stamina just to do that. If I can do that into wood, you guys can do that into a mechanical lug. If I can do that with my bare hand, so can you guys on something that's already pre-threaded. You don't have to put a drill on everything, especially if it's electrical. You shouldn't be touching drills with receptacles. You shouldn't be touching impacts with receptacles. Technically, you should be using a torque screwdriver. You should be torquing all your connections. So the second that you put an impact on it, you already went over the limit of a torque. See if I can find a receptacle. Receptacle here. Here. What the code book says now is anything with the torque value shall be torqued to that value. So if it has a torque value on it, you must torque it to that value. That's what the code says. Let's see here. What does it say? This says, does it tell us? I do not see a torque rating on this one. If you go on their website, it's like 8 Newton meters or something crazy. It's like 6 12 inch-pounds or something like that. It's not very much at all. So the second that you touch these with your impact, you've already over tightened it. Yeah, there is not a torque value on this one. But yeah, what I can tell you is a couple of bumps of an impact probably isn't as tight as you think it is, or it's potentially too tight, depending on what you're going for. Let's try. Got a surge here. I need to put a wire on that. Let's put a wire on that so we're going to just tighten the piss out of it. That should self-tighten. Usually the electrician in me wants to squeeze that. Can I resist? That's the question. Can we resist squeezing that? Let's see. I don't think we can. We got to squeeze it. So if I don't, it's going to bug me. There we go. Now it's good. Okay. How tight? How tight do you guys make these? Is that enough? Or is it like that where you stripped it out? Because there's no way of actually knowing how tight this is. All you know is that you've tightened it till the screw stopped and the impacts got closer to each other. That's all we know. How tight is that? Let's find out. Can I tighten this more? I can tighten a little bit more. So I would say it wasn't tight enough. Or maybe it was too tight, but I can still tighten it more with the screwdriver. Tighten it even more now. Now it's like really tight. The point is you don't know how tight you're making these. And then you're stripping out the screw, you're doing all that stuff. You don't even know the damage you're doing. Now, because I've compromised this receptacle, I will not be installing this receptacle by an accident, so we have to destroy this receptacle. So you guys get to see the inside of a receptacle because I can't afford to leave this around and install this in a customer's house. That would be bad. So it's a little bit stronger than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Come on, the back peeled off. All right, so we get this question a lot. How do the backstabs work? Well, they're not like Wagos, okay? They're much thicker. They're way less forgiving. And once you stretch them out, they are out forever. So over time, as your circuit sees more load, and this could sit for years in the same state. And then one day you add a space heater to your circuit. Maybe it's cold outside. This is used to staying in the same spot for years and years and years. You add a little bit more load to this same thing, it's going to be moving a little bit more than it has for the last 10 years. That's when you start losing the other receptacles in your house. Like this one will just disconnect, and then you'll have like the rest of your receptacles out in that room. That's why that is. So if you look at these, we should pull this out. There we go. If you look at that, that's all that is. That's the backstab. Number 14 only, of course. And it just pushes in there. There's no lever, there's no lock, there's no... and it's not even like... It's really not forgiving. I mean, it's fairly hard. So you think of like suspension on your car and how much that moves, how much more forgiving that is versus having less suspension. This is less likely to always want to be grabbing the wire. This is just kind of friction fit and then hope like hell it stays, pretty much. Which is why I always wrap the receptacles. And then when you look at this and you think about that little piece right there, this is what's transferring the load right there. That little piece, right? Not all this. We're looking at that little piece right there in the corner. That's what's transferring your 16 amps from one side to the other. So when you pigtail inside of a receptacle, you got two Romexes coming in. You don't land one hot here and one hot here. You pigtail them together, and now we got three wires coming out of one wire nut, and you land it on one side. Because that's going to be, the circuit is going to be continuing through the wire nut, not through the device itself. So as you get more load on this receptacle, the more likely these are to stop working because this whole thing is kind of heating up. So if you get all your load transferring through the receptacle back here, and the only amount of load that's going back through this and through that one wire is whatever you got plugged in, your receptacles are going to last a lot longer. You're going to be a better electrician. You're going to do better installs, and your customers are going to appreciate that. Especially if you're doing it at your own house. Superintendent wants a bonus. Yeah. I've always hand tightened. Me too. I've been an electrician since 2006. I don't think I have ever to this day walked away from a receptacle and didn't hand tighten it if I touched it with a power tool. And that's a lot of receptacles. More control with a hand tool, absolutely. It's ready for it, you can do it, but it's still not good practice, and don't do it. I would agree with that. I would also agree with that. It's probably fine, but don't do it. It's technically not rated. In a court of law, it's not rated. So if for some reason you were stupid enough to say on the stand that you use an impact on every connection, it would be a bad day for you. put that back in there. There we go. And then there's the ground. That's where the ground sits for the yoke. So when we plug this in, see, that's where the back stabs in, or on the back side, right? When we plug this in, that's the yoke hole there. So that's your ground. You can see where it's connected there throughout. This whole back strap is called the yoke. And then your cover plate screws into the yoke. So there's your receptacle anatomy. See, I can't even plug that back in because we played with it a little bit. There we go. Now it's extra stiff. All right, put the receptacle down. Stop screwing with it. We're going to put these away. I was looking for a rating. Warning. Be installed in accordance with appropriate electrical codes and regulations. If you're not sure about any of these instructions, consult an electrician. Oh, it's right there, dude. 18 inch-pounds. Ha! I found it. I found it. I'm going to show you. Okay. Side wire. There it is right there. 14 to 18 inch-pounds. Right there. 14 to 18 inch-pounds. When we get 30 likes, dude, I'll see if we can snap this thing in half. We get 30 likes. I'm just going to be picking out our receptacles until then. I think we can get 50, but we'll settle for 30. We just had to stop and destroy this receptacle because there's no way that I could use that after I put an impact on it and accidentally install that. That would be hazardous. We had to pump the brakes on the on the live there for a second, man. I could not forget that I did that to a receptacle. That would be bad. Okay. We're about cleaned up. We might need some of these. Done. 30. Perfect. All right, here we go. Ordered the number 2. It's more expensive and less cheating, even though I hate this screwdriver. How do you want to do it? Do you want me to see if I can dislodge it from over tightening it, or do you want me to just like snap it in half? We're going to see if we can dislodge it. That slips back there. Let me see here. No, it still slips. We need to stop slipping. Maybe right there. Maybe right there. I'm going to get you a better view too. We're going to go overhead. Bandsaw down the middle. Bandsaw dissect it? You got gas, damn tacos. What's up, Jay Dizzle? Somebody wants me to dissect this with the bandsaw down the middle. I'm not trying to grab the installation. I'm just trying to see if I could twist the handle. Okay, so the handle is definitely all one piece. You want me to cut with the bandsaw down the middle? We can do that. Well, I'm waiting for your answer. I'm going to turn on the damn AC. I got a Dremel. I had a Dremel. There it is. This is like the most sketch Dremel I think you've ever seen. It's good for small stuff, man. Don't be knocking it just because it's a piece of crap, you know. It could be useful for small, very tiny projects. USB. I don't think this is going to get through it. If it works, it works. Let's see here. Yeah. It's tooling with tactics tonight. Haha. Is this tools or tactics? A little bit of both tonight. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay, this might take a year. You know, I think we put this in our drill. It'd be a hell of a lot more dangerous, but it would be done like yesterday. I don't need a thumbnail, do I? I think I smell the motor burning. You know, before we do that, let's see if we can break it in half first, and then we'll venture off to breaking it in half on the back handle. Let's just see. I don't think we can. No, it's a well-built screwdriver. It is a well-built screwdriver. Yeah. Okay. Bandsaw time. Bandsaw time. We may as well go down the same angle. Get out of the way, screws. Working here. We appear to have hit metal. Okay, I think we've all cut a screwdriver in half before, so I know from experience that it doesn't make sense to just keep cutting tool steel. I'm able to like maybe do like a precision cut like right there. Should be able to just kind of split that open. We got another well-built German screwdriver here. Let me catch up with the chat. Ukrainians watching this are horrified. Probably. Never wear out. That's awesome. Bandsaw. I can't escape the feeling. Vice it. Nah, we're good. We did vice it. This is the vice. This is the electrician's vice. That is very well built, man. Interesting. So it's what is that? That is it's well built. I'll give it that. It is very well built. Hey. Come on. So that's where we started cutting the steel. And you know, the steel is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I think the Klein steel is harder. And I'll show you why I say that. We'll cut right here. And we're actually making progress. And we go over here. Listen to the difference. Look at the difference there. I'll cut it longer. Wow, it's hot. Look at the difference there, man. I'm telling you, you guys can say what you want about the grips on Klein. You can say how much better that Wera and Knipex is when it comes to, you know, their tools. But damn, dude, nothing is as hard as Klein's tips. Nothing's as hard as Klein's teeth. And yeah, that's that's the end of the story there, man. That's actually, I knew this from experience, man, because I've cut a lot of tools in half before. No reason specifically, but we've cut a lot of tools in half before. I used to make my own sockets, so before they started making Allens that were a sufficient length to terminate, like large lugs and stuff for electrical, we used to have to make our own. So if we wanted a 1/2-inch socket that was like 4 inches long, we would have to go to Sears. We'd have to buy an L-shaped Allen wrench, and then we'd have to cut that in half. We'd have to go get a 1/2-inch socket, and then we'd have to take it up to like a welding shop, maybe like a muffler shop. I was fortunate enough to have a buddy that had a welder. But I was telling guys if they wanted their own, they could go to a welding shop, muffler shop, to get it done. And they were having to weld the Allen wrench and the 1/2-inch socket together to make the Allen wrench that you needed, because this stuff just didn't exist back then. Back in like 2010, Sears barely had that stuff. They had 3/8 and they stopped. Nobody had 1/2-inch. And this is some seriously hard metal. to we'll break the teeth on the bandsaw before we get through here. This thing was already getting like pretty damn hot, and you can see we're just a very short time. I mean, we're pretty damn deep in there, man. We'll go a little bit longer. Yeah, we're absolutely making progress in there very quickly compared to the Klein. Looks pretty cool. I'm curious how thick that is and how does it go and when does it taper and all that stuff. So we'll it's like a can opener. Haha. Insulation's pretty impressive. I remember there was a time when the days of insulation, it was more like rubbery. But this is like hard plastic and insulated. The Tough Built was like this. Tough Built. You can have a hug. Good night.
Good night.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Are you ripping up screwdrivers?
We are ripping up screwdrivers.
I want to watch. Can I watch your life?
Yeah, we're an hour and a half in. Good night.
Good night. Are you going to rip up more?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll be watching.
I don't know. We're kind of running out of screwdrivers. You're stealing tools to destroy them. No. No. Not even a little bit. Yeah, good stuff though, man. That is hard compared to anybody else. If we go to this, is going to have to be softer. Just the mechanics of it. This has to be softer because you can't afford to be hitting a hammer onto this and this being as hard as a hammer, because this has to be softer. So there's no point in trying to cut this. If this was just as hard as a hammer, it'd be very dangerous. So we already know this isn't going to be hard. There's no point in trying to cut this. I can show you what I'm talking about. We'll just do half a second. And that's by design. So this has to be softer. But if we were to try like one of their tools here, let's see how hard that is. Yeah, still softer than the Klein. I don't think there's anything as hard as what Klein's got for their forges and their heat treating. I'm curious about this. This is a Klein Tools rebrand. They haven't really figured out what they want to do with this. This is what comes with the ball grip, and it's a great shaped tip. There's really nothing special about it. We whacked this with the top of a waffle shaped. It's called a milled hammer. I don't know if you guys know what a milled hammer is, but it has the waffle cone or the waffle shapes in there. We smashed this with a milled faced hammer one day to see what would happen. I'm pretty sure this is going to be softer. Let's see. This should be pretty damn soft. You know, it's actually harder than the other stuff. It's actually pretty hard. It's pretty hard, man. It's pretty hard stuff. Yeah, you look at the difference there. The Klein stuff is substantially harder. Even this, I didn't think it was going to be hard. Even that's hardened a little bit. My mom would say there's hungry kids in Africa that'd love to have those tools. Yeah, dude, if they need more iron in their diet, come on with it. Real BS. Waste of a bandsaw blade. Yes, yes, you were right. This is a waste of a bandsaw blade. That's what she said. See, Alice's commercial incoming. Oh, that's great. How much is the knifed pliers? The knifed pliers. Oh, these diagonals? These are like 40, I think. They're not cheap. They're like 36. Knipex. Great, now you're on both Japanese and your Ukrainian shit list. Yeah. No, the Knipex, sorry. The Knipex knifed pliers. I don't know. I don't know the knifed pliers. Oh, these Knipex. The Knipex pliers. Oh, I don't remember. 40? These 36? 40 bucks for the 10-inch. About 50. 50 for the 12. It's money well spent. I've owned, not this set, but I've owned a pair of 10-inch and a pair of 12-inch Knipex since 2008. There's a store in Fort Worth called J.L. Matthews. They were probably the first in Texas to get their hands on these. I was using these way before anyone knew how cool they were. I've abused them. I've beat on them. I've torched them. I've ran them over. These are absolutely invincible. You cannot, you can't break these. You can hammer on this every day for an hour on miscellaneous stuff, you know, just lining up pipes, beating little strut straps, whatever you're doing. You can wail on stuff all day and this does not wear down. It's going to show a little bit of like signs that you've been hitting it, but it stays the same shape. These do not break. These are newer because I've only had them for about 3 years. I don't do near as much commercial as I used to. Yeah, it's hard to beat the Knipex. I got some NWS, which is Klein branded, but I don't think Klein makes them, but they are from Germany and they're coming. I don't own a pair of Grandpa's Blue Channel locks, man. You're new to this channel, so I'll explain what happened. I had mold at my last house and I almost died. Probably, that's not an understatement, by the way. That's the truth. I almost died probably more times than I've got fingers. And even this year until July, I was on antibiotics 6 times. Just this year alone. So still struggling, had to throw away everything I ever owned, rebuy all of my stuff, including tools, cars, clothes, games, toys, everything. Everything is new in my life. Everything that I own is less than 3 years old. I even had to buy a new wedding ring. I couldn't even breathe around my other wedding ring. I had to sell my other wedding ring because I literally couldn't breathe next to it. Still dealing with down level stuff. Man, I hope you get better, dude. I hadn't heard your story. We'll have to catch up. I don't know if the Knipex has a lifetime warranty. I've never had to use it. And this is one of those tools that if I did break it, it was for good reason. Like we were doing something stupid with it. If you break these, you don't deserve to have a warranty. You would have to heat these up and then dip them in water really quickly and then just start beating on everything and then run them over with the track hoe to damage these. Yeah, exactly, Sandman. I don't think you could break these. If you break these, you don't deserve a warranty. It's that simple. They probably laugh at you in German when you ask for a warranty. They say 9, and you're like, no, I only want 1. I just want 1. case you missed it, that was the was our number 2 screwdriver. The Knipex 1000 volt red and yellow. Nice, nice. 9, I got that. Nice, nice. Favorite tool. Favorite tool. Damn. Favorite tool right here. This one. That's my favorite tool. That's a great tool there. This is. Give me some duct tape and this tool. Put me on an island. That's all we need. But the best screwdriver is definitely over here somewhere. We keep grabbing it and then we keep putting it down. This one right here. Best screwdriver. Best screwdriver. You break the tip. Just go get another tip. The grip doesn't slip. Those little D10 things, it just spins forever. There's no failure mode on this. You can't overextend it like you pushed it too far. It literally just spins indefinitely. And there's like very little wear on it. Like as you spin this, it releases those just momentarily. Which means that you can one-handedly change out your bits. So if you got a bunch sticking up in your tool pouch, you can just switch them out pretty easily. Just drop that in your pouch. And then you have another one sticking up if you need to. And you can just kind of just go over it. Grab another tip. Yeah, this is amazing. It's an amazing screwdriver. If you guys just got here, this thing snapped literally like we barely even tried. I'm fairly strong, but dude, that thing snapped way beyond. I mean, way before I was expecting. It's pretty funny. Maybe we could dump this out. Get it? Join me one day. Yeah, dude. Get it? Been a fantastic week. That's awesome, Rodney. That's great to hear, man. You should get a Vito bag when you have the money to spend. Which one would you like me to buy? Because I don't recommend the TP XXL. This one's okay. It's a little tippy. It's not too bad. It has tendency to tip. That drives me crazy. When this heavy impact isn't in it. It really does like to tip if you don't have stuff in the back of it. It kind of drives me crazy a little bit. This is probably the best bang for your buck here. Would be the this one here. That's the, what is that one? That is the MCT. Just as big on both sides. But the freaking Klein tool runner for $100 is where it's at. Because you can fit everything in this thing, man. I mean, we've got all that in there. I'll even throw an impact in there. And we'll throw in a level that should not fit, but it will because this thing's not even loaded out yet. We'll put some more crap in here. What else can we put? Another screwdriver. And we'll throw a pencil, sure. And we'll zip it right up, no problem. One hand. And then you go on this side, and then you got all your diagnostic stuff. And that's an ET450 full size. The Vito does not fit what this thing does. Not even close. There's no contest to what they've done with this Klein tool bag. And you might say, well, that's because it's bigger than the Vito. You're damn right it is, man. Vito's had years to do something like this. Frankly, every tool company's had a chance to do something like this. This video is coming out later, tomorrow, Sunday. I don't know. I think it's got pouches in it. I don't know. I bought it to put my meters and stuff in on the go. It looks pretty cool. We'll have to see if it's any good. 90-day warranty. The bag or the box. Oh, there's the 30-day return for any reason. All right. We're going to take a shit in this bag and return it. We'll see. We'll see if they stand behind their word. Dang, I missed a lot of chat. I'm just going to scroll down. Just got your video. MB5B. I love the backpack. I don't know. It's great. That is an expensive bag, dude. The MB5B, that's the backpack. That's like, yeah, that's like a $300 bag. That's a lot. Have you seen how much the Wera bag costs? No. I'm not buying a Wera bag. The Milwaukee bag seems like it's decent. It's 3 times the price of that. So the Klein one for the win, dude. I saw the Milwaukee bag. I was doing an inspection for somebody. They were doing a panel. And I was kind of messing with it. The pockets look interesting. But for the price, I don't know. It's a lot of money for something that the Klein does a little bit better, frankly, for the space and stuff. The Milwaukee's a little bit out of touch still with the hand tools. They're getting better. The Klein tool runner is awesome. Yeah, it is. It is. Work bought it. Love it. Nice. Nice. That's a win, dude. You got work buying your freaking $250 Vito. Why not? By the way, if you guys haven't seen these glasses, they're from Walmart and they're double wall. They don't sweat at all. Like this has been sitting here with the ice cube. They do not sweat at all. Like we didn't even need this coaster. Oh yeah, by the way, now I get to show off my Klein's tool coaster there. That's pretty cool. Wish you had the MCTP had the same tub as the MC. MCTP. I'm trying to think which one that is. There's so many letters with the Vito stuff, man. It's hard to keep up. Check this out. I was at their factory the other day at Klein. And this is how thick their tubs are. So let me back up so you guys can see. So that's the bottom of the bag, right? That's the bottom of the bag. And then that's them on the conveyor. Look how thick that rubber is, man. That's great. I tried to gauge it so you guys could see how thick it was. That's one of those Burt's Bees little Carmex jars. But yeah, it's a thick bottom. So everyone's catching up to Vito. Now Vito's gotten sold out to China anyway. But Vito's not even owned by Vito anymore. The company that bought Malco bought it. And then that company, Aspen Pumps, is owned by somebody else. And it's all overseas. And now all the patents are getting leaked. And now you can buy knockoff Vitos for like $60. It's getting out of hand. I might buy one of those Vito knockoffs for $60 just to see, but the principle of it, it's just wrong, but I might do it. What's going on, Russ? How you doing? It's a nice backpack. I saw it in NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association in San Diego. Nice. You love the Wera ballerina. They remix the handles by adding rubber instead of the slippery plastic. The Wera ballerina remix the handle by adding rubber instead of. Oh, that might be cool. You're talking about like this, but instead of the plastic, it's got rubber. That would be cool. I'll try those out. Custom straighter number 12 with the J2158CR hybrids. Okay. I can cut. You want solid to cut with it or what? You realize I can cut number 2 like butter. I'm not a very good gauge on how good things cut. I've been in the field for too long. I got too much damn grip strength. All right, here comes the J215s. And for comparison, we'll do the Milwaukee. We'll do the Klein. And then I've got the 9 CRs too. So, let's see here. Tell me it doesn't suck. Okay, let me see. Number 10 and 12. Compared to others, maybe I was tripping today. It's a compromise, dude. The 8 CRs were awesome until the 9s came out. And now the 9s are just amazing. So that's number 12 Romex like that. They're a little bit poppy, but they still cut. Let's get a piece of number 12 all by itself out. So just a cut. Like that. That's number 12. Loppers here. Cut my finger off. That's a little bit easier. Here comes the 9 CRs that you should be using. 9 CRs are so nice, dude. 9 CRs. Less pop. Comes in Milwaukee. Even easier. You can hear the difference in it. And then now, maybe my favorites right now, man. These things cut like crazy good. These are the Klein stripper needle nose forged, and they listen. It's like nothing. They're so good, man. It's like it's almost like it just pops out of your hand. They cut so good. Just, I mean, I could probably use like my pinky and my thumb. Oh yeah, that'd be a good test to see. Yeah, we can do our pinky and our thumb to cut number 12. So what else can we do? We could do like I bet you I could close them like this and cut it. Hang on. There's number 12 there. Okay, that might be it. Oh, yeah. These things have amazing leverage. This is number 2, stranded, number 2, right? And it just cuts like it's like nothing. I thought that would have my cup. That'd been funny. These are the 9-inch 8 CRs or the 9 CRs. And we're going to have to kind of bite down a little bit to kind of get it started, but noticeably more leverage. Here comes your 8 CRs because you wanted me to cut number 10, but we're just going to go straight to number 2. Here's your 8 CRs. And definitely more pop. You can hear the difference. Still doable. I'm not a good person to gauge the leverage of tools because I've got grip strength that doesn't exist from the field. Even whenever tools are Tools with Souls and I, we went to that science museum, and they had this grip thing, and you had to grab these two things on this machine and hold it as long as you can. I was like a level 9, and I don't think that he ever got that high, but he was kind of playing it off like, and he's older, you know, he's older, so it's fine. But it definitely bugged him that I had more grip strength than he did. They could be, I mean, depending on how much you use them, they could be wearing down, because these are about 3 years old, and they that's just 2 fingers there. So that's we gotta put the hot back in there. We gotta put the hot back in there. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can still do it with two fingers. Trying to think what else we can cut with around here. Well, everyone wants to see the Knipex, probably. Knipex are good, don't get me wrong. Knipex are good. You gotta force them open like that. Like, that's not a movement that I'm really happy to have to do. Once they get to here, you lose all your leverage. And these are not as easy as the new Klein Forged. You can hear the difference, listen. They almost like snap closed. They still do it nicely. But these things here just cut that number 2 like it's like nothing, man. I have those by VDE. Nice, nice. I was going straight stranded number 12 coil packs, and it was giving me more shit than I wanted. If you think they're getting dull, man, take them back. I don't know. The 8CRs are nice. The 8CRs are nice. Whenever I'm doing a service call and I've got existing wires, some are like they're so twisted up, man. I just needed a little bit more leverage. I got to where I just started carrying my full-size pair of Kleins to make sure I could get the best connection possible in the crappiest situation. And then when the 9s came out, I tried them, and I thought that they were just going to be a little bit longer and a little bit this and that compared to each other. But they are like 100% proportionately, like, not 100, but like they're like 30% like larger in every scale. They didn't just add a little bit here and a little bit here and call it good. They completely redesigned these things from the ground up and just proportionally made them like 30% bigger in every way. That's pretty cool, because you can look at the length of the cutters. You can look at the length of the teeth for the makeup, and you just get a lot more leverage with the 9s. So I have fully switched to the 9s. The 8s are nice, but the 9s, they're not that much bigger. They're not that much heavier. Do I like the Klein insulated grip lineman pliers? Yes. Yes, I do. I like all the versions of the Klein insulated, actually. You're 36 and right hand, middle, and ring finger getting arthritis. Using grip strengthener helps. Nice. Too much grip. Yeah. He's not paid by Klein. They send in tools and not required to make videos. Yeah. Yeah, we need to clarify that. Every once in a while, Klein will send me tools. Right now, I don't have any tools the Klein has sent me as of recently. I'm getting more soon. They gave me this. This is cool. I got that recently. But as far as tools, I was talking to Klein today, They said, you know, is there something you wanted? And I was like, yeah, I really want to look at some of your multimeters. And then I texted back real quick and I was like, don't give me a multimeter because I'm really picky with my multimeters. I like my multimeters to make a noise when I hit voltage. I like them to make a noise when I hit continuity. I like a light to turn on when I hit voltage. Absolutely. A light has to turn on when you hit voltage. Not all multimeters do that. So I'm really partial to some of my flukes. I'm actually partial to this Milwaukee here, even though it needs more ohms. This is a really good multimeter for the price. So I was like, scratch that. Don't send me a multimeter. I'll buy my own on that. But they are going to be sending me a CT lead the Klein makes. And we're going to make a really cool video with that. That should be pretty cool. Fluke for the win? I think so. I think so. If you can get this one on sale, get it. If you can't, you don't need it. But this is the T6. I think the T5 is better for a couple of reasons. The T5 is smaller. It's thinner. The jaw is smaller. It fits better. Your effing leads don't get stuck in this piece of shit like this. That's ridiculous, dude. You're going to tell me you're going to spend $300 on a multimeter regular price and I'm not going to be able to pull out my own effing lead? Are you kidding me? There's a couple of things out of touch with this thing. I don't even know if I can get this thing out. There we go. You don't need field sense. There's a lot of things you don't need on this multimeter. It's definitely a better multimeter. It has a little bit more features, and it's supposed to be better. The T5 is always going to be probably my favorite multimeter just because of the price and that it's built like a tank. Whenever you hit voltage, the light turns on immediately, which is a huge plus. But this Milwaukee still has features that this Fluke doesn't have. This is 50. This is 300. That's where I start to kind of go against the grain when it comes to people's opinion on Fluke. The field piece here. This thing has inrush. The flashlight turns on when you open the jaw. It has a lead holder. It has NCV. It has the magnet built in the back. Light turns on when you hit voltage. It has all the features. It has dual display. You can read amps and volts simultaneously. It has millivolt readings. It has capacitance. This thing does it have capacitance? I thought it did. Yeah, MFD, microfarads. This thing does everything that I'd want in a meter. The only reason why I'm looking at Klein, is because I've been asked what I think about Klein. And the answer is I don't have an opinion because I haven't tried out a Klein meter because I really like these. So the last thing I need is Klein sending me a multimeter and expecting me to make a positive video about it, because I don't think it's going to be a positive video. But I'm willing to explore what they got, because this meter here is $200 and it has 17 times more features than a Fluke ever will for that price. Drawers, bottom molar. Okay, the trick with that meter is to pop the lead forward from the bottom instead of the pull. Yep, I did that to get it out. But sometimes you can pull it straight out. But yeah, I had to pull it forward. I'm not a fan of pulling the lead forward though. Feels unnatural. All right. Well, we broke like 4 screwdrivers. We're going to start picking up and we're going to get out of here. Comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see. You guys want me to pick up another tool? You want to see what it's made of? You want me to break it in half? Do some durability testing. Somebody mentioned about the Weras here having a reverse grip, the ballerinas or something. I'm going to try that out. That sounds pretty cool. I might pick up the yellow handle of these. They look like they're more for stripping Romex. So probably go to Lowe's and look at them. I picked these because of my experience knowing what was going to be good. But we'll explore the yellow ones maybe. I've never needed strippers to strip Romex like that. It's kind of a waste for me. But if somebody wants to see them, we'll get them. The yellow handles, they're 12.2 and 14.2. Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. Will Klein stop in 9? It's funny because I was talking to one of the managers down there, and he was like, we might need to do an expense report and go to a range and see how what that ball grip can withstand. It's funny, man. I've got everybody at Klein calling it a ball grip too. That's hilarious. I called it a ball grip because it's a freaking ball grip screwdriver, but the real name is the Fast Bit True Grip. And even the people at Klein call it a ball grip. It's actually pretty funny, man. Everyone's calling it the ball grip now. That's great. Toner video review. Yeah, I'll do another toner video. There's really only 2 that you should get for the price, though. It is the Klein. I've had the Flukes. The Fluke generators have some nice shorting features. So if you had your generator down, I'm saying down because I'm thinking I'm in the attic. So if you have your generator on the receptacle and you're up in the attic and you're toning around and you think that you found the wire and you want to touch your ground and your hot together, of course the power's off, that generator will send out another distress signal of a different variation to let you know that you just touched 2 wires together. The Fluke will do that, but it doesn't seem like it does it. Not the Fluke, the Klein. The Klein will do that, but it won't send it out as consistently. That Fluke generator is really good. You can mix max generators. So what I used to do, I used to get the Fluke generator and I would use the Klein toner. And they kind of work with each other. So if you want the best of both worlds, you can get the Fluke, which is like I don't know, it's not light blue and it's not dark blue. It's like a purplish Istra Network style. And you can get the Klein. But now that the Klein has that 900 series with the full digital display and everything, I think that newer Klein is actually better. We used to have to kind of mix match to get the best of both worlds. But now that one Klein is out, it's actually amazing because you got that different variation of pulse on the actual toner itself. So we'll have to play with the shorting feature more to find out more about it. Actually, I'll pull it out. You guys are still here. I'll pull it out real quick and we'll mess with it. Let me put these up. Yeah, the other good thing with the Klein Tools one is that you can remove these, and that's freaking awesome. Way more compact. So this guy here, we got to turn this on. It's going to be a little bit irritating. So there's a pure tone there. If we touch these together, we should get a noise. See, we don't get that shorting noise. I don't know how to get it on this. Try something. Ooh. No. So it's not going to do it. Off. Yeah. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when it does that different tone whenever you touch them together? If the Klein did that, that'd be really cool. You remember those space guns that we had? They were like full on white, and they had like a light at the front, and they were like lit up with red lights, and they would go and they'd make like different noises, and then one would be like a grenade, one would be like a bomb falling, and it would do like all the different variations of tones when you pulled the trigger. Sound like a laser gun. Do you guys remember that? The Fluke will make those noises when you touch them together, so you know that you've found the circuit. It's pretty cool. This does not have a shorting feature. And I think the other one does. I think this one does. It just doesn't do it all the time. Hang on. We're going to find out right now. I don't know how to make it do it. It's not going to do it either. Appreciate it, Jay Dizzle. I'll see you later. Tone generator can be on continuity for the tone to change. Tone generator can't be on continuity for the tone to change. How do you get it off continuity? That's something I gotta look into. I know that the... See, I think you're onto something there. This thing has a lot of lights. Test mode. Let's try that. Not that one. Hang on. Come on. I got too many buttons pushed. I don't know what mode I'm in anymore. I'm gonna turn it off. Oh. Oh. No. No. I can't figure it out. But at least you guys know what I'm talking about. Strange looking Game Boy. Yeah. I think Fluke is still the Cadillac meters. Ideal good, second, in my opinion. The Ideal is pretty good. I almost put that deal out today. I forgot to. I got busy. There's an Ideal meter like this one. I think it's this meter. This meter's on Amazon right now for like 50 or 60 bucks or something. It's a pretty good meter. I don't know if it has the sight on the bottom of it or not. I like the original Ideals that were at Lowe's. They were like $100, and they actually had a true NCV button separate. Like it wasn't a mode that you had to switch to. It was I could push the NCV button whenever I wanted to. That was an interesting meter because it was acceptable for what it did. You couldn't trust your life with it, but man, it was a good troubleshooter. That thing would read all the ohms. Sometimes it would turn off and you could tap the back of it and it would turn back on. So you really couldn't use it to verify voltage or not. But it was a great meter for everything else. You know, just troubleshooting and all that stuff. It was a good meter. It was light and you didn't have to worry about breaking it because it was only $100. Touching them too fast. It only changes tone if a short is made for like 1 second or longer. I tried that too, Mumbles. I can try again. But I did try that as well. I tried all the different variations. I've heard this one do it before. It just doesn't do it consistently. So we're shorted now for a long time. We'll release it. Still makes the same noise. Shorted again. It even shows the red light to show that it's shorted. Release it. No tone. Yeah, it's just interesting. I've had this one do it before, but not consistently and not recently. Oh yeah, the green leaves were great, man. It looks like it's in continuity mode. It doesn't have any other modes to it though. So if I did it again, it is in continuity mode, but it doesn't go out of continuity mode. So right now it's in turner mode, no continuity mode. Turn it back on. Okay, so no. No, I can't figure it out. Maybe I have to read the instructions on this one. I'll figure it out. The Fluke would just do it automatically. It didn't matter what setting you're on, whatever you're on, you could just touch them together and it would change the tone if they're held for more than 1 second. I have a laser level. Nice. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later. Fill piece meters, find continuity too fast without checking for resistance. Ha! That might be true. The other thing I like about the Fluke on continuity is it takes a second or two to make noise, but understanding how the meter works. Checking resistance. Yeah. Yep. Definitely appreciate you, Josh. All right, guys. That's all I got. We sawed some screwdrivers in half. We snapped some screwdriver in half like a pixie stick and played with a bunch of hand tools. Let me know what else you guys want to see. See you guys in the next one. Thanks.